Y'all ready for this?
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy.
I'm Matt Kuchar.
Michael Phelps.
I'm Ricky Fowler.
Archie Bradley.
Paige Spranick.
Brody Smith.
Blair O'Neill.
Alex Noren.
BJ Singh.
Randall Chambly. Cameron Champ. Charlie Hoffman.
Cheyenne Wood.
Colton Ost.
Gary Woodland. Joel Damon.
Justin Thomas.
Kevin Nott.
Michael Walter.
Patrick Peterson. Paul Bissonette.
Reggie Bush.
Tanya Tudde.
Tyler Tony.
My name is Phil Mullins, and you're watching
Breaking Law. It's a tremendous show.
Guys, after 4 seasons of Breaking Par, I don't really get nervous before an interview. But today's guest has me a little intimidated. When it comes to television golf analysts, color play-by-play guys, he's the best who have ever done it. This man was born for a television microphone. And when I was growing up, if you asked any of my golf buddies who's the one guy on TV they'd love to have a beer with most, it was this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary McCord.
Hi. Unbelievable. I'm Gary. How are we doing? What's going on now?
You and I are gonna play the back nine at Augusta, a backyard putting course inspired by the back nine at Augusta.
Okay.
I have so much I want to talk to you about. Let's get started.
Big dreams, I got big dreams. Making classics for the masses, yeah, they love me, I'm the real thing.
Here's the 3 putts.
Cheers. All right,
I know we straighten the line up a lot.
does this look at all familiar to you here?
Yeah, except I never get close to that bunker here off the tee. I'm about 150 yards short of it with a good drive.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I just go straight across the condo project here?
Do it.
Really?
Yeah. Gary already cutting the corner on hole 1. I like it.
Hell yes.
Gary, we're playing the back nine at Augusta. If you could pick 3 guys to make your ultimate foursome at Augusta, dead or alive, who is it? You can't pick me. We're already doing it.
No, I understand. I don't think you'd be on the list anyway. Oh, pretty good. One of them had to be Walter Hagen. Hagen, I just liked his act. He had it all figured out. Rolls Royces, slicked hair, show up the next day with his street shoes on, go to the first tee and beat the guys. He was great. I'd probably go with Snead and Hogan. That would be a pretty good group. Just get it close. There you go. There you go. There you go. You want me to put this out or?
Yeah, let's just see it.
You know, I was a 1984 putting champion on the PGA Tour.
Least putts that season, right?
I beat George Archer. George would even give me this. It's very sad. Very sad.
Automatic.
Day after day, the mindset is crucial. Crossed off the list, had no business as usual.
Over 30 some odd years on the mic.
35, yeah.
35.
35. When I got the job, I wasn't trying to get the job. It was a happen chance deal. I was on an airplane with the CBS guys. I was going to Muirfield to Jack's tournament, and I was on the policy board, one of the 4 guys in making decisions as to how the tour is being run, which is a scary thought in itself. So I went up and asked Frank, the producer director, I said, listen, can I just come out and watch you guys do a telecast from inside the trucks? I didn't know anything about television, nothing. And one of the guys goes, hey, Frank, McCord's here. Tell him to go out to 16. So I started to walk to the tee, and then up in the tower up there, Vern Lundquist goes, hey, get up here. I crawl up the thing, I said, what? And he goes, here. And he hands me a headset. Frank wants to try as an announcer. The last guy on the golf course was Payne Stewart. And Vern goes, what's he got? I said, here's what he's got. All you people out there that play golf. I said, get a golf ball and a wedge. Go out to your lawn, chip it on your driveway, holler for it to bite. That's what he's got. So Frankie gets on, I want to say in the trucks. That was pretty good. He said, what are you doing next week? I go, I'm playing Washington, playing up there in the tournament. And he says, okay, good, we're doing that. He says, you'll miss the cut, so when you do, come on up. So I did that for 4 years. When I missed the cut, I'd go up and for $500 and I'd go sit in the tower and work before I got a contract, yeah. So that was it.
Elevated mission got you wishing it was big dreams.
You were there from the start through all of the magical Tiger years.
Yeah.
I mean, you were front and center of all of that. How do you even express what that Tiger era was, those years of magic?
I played golf, I played the tour. I have played with the best that ever lived.
Yep.
And I've watched them. And I can verbalize what I'm seeing. I couldn't with him. Literally, I couldn't. So that was the big problem with Tiger, was trying to do a telecast and have this ghostly figure doing things that were paranormal. They were literally paranormal.
Yeah.
And how do you explain paranormal to somebody out there having a beer on the couch? You can't. You can't explain it. And we're in the business of communication.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a huge roadblock. It really was.
Gary, what's first thought with you? Is it speed or line?
Everything should be speed. You can't pick out a line unless you get the right speed.
Biggest pet peeve in golf?
Well, if it's slow play, yeah, I can't stand slow play because it takes time out of the bar.
Yeah.
I want to get done, go to the bar like everybody else.
How are these automatic?
Well,
Like that?
yeah, if you grew up doing it and you gamble a little bit, you better make those or you're not going to have any money left in your pocket at all.
Biggest wager on the golf course you've ever been a part of?
One dentist and two bookies and myself. My partner stood up and go, "We're on for a quarter." I said, what was that? He said, "It's 250,000.
Okay.
I go, no, I'm out. So I turned down $250,000 for 9 holes. And yeah, you play for a little bit. You're on the tour, so you're always playing for money, yeah.
I feel free when I follow my dreams.
14.
14. I'm not even thinking about missing this. Not even thinking. Oh man,
Settle.
it didn't. I thought the thing would go that way.
How would you describe the speed of these greens, Gary McCord?
It looked like they'd been bikini waxed.
Have you been back to Augusta since '94?
Nope. They have orders there to shoot me on sight once I cross the border into Georgia.
Let me ask it. Does the bikini wax comment get you banned today?
That's a good question. Yeah, probably. I don't think they've changed morally there. What was that?
Horrible.
You hit it on the wrong side of the hole to break. Oh. Well,
Okay.
what was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
A blind squirrel.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like you were born to be on the mic. Why is that? Is it just being yourself and this is Gary McCord and it just worked perfect?
You're never yourself until something collides with your head that says, well, that's interesting. And my moment where I went, now that's different. 1963, the head cheerleader at Garden Grove High School was Steve Martin.
Okay.
So I saw crazy up close and personal when I didn't know what crazy was. And I went, that's kind of fun.
You took a piece of that.
You've got to see nuts before you can duplicate nuts.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's ethereal. Steve, what would Steve do? I got to make this. This is going to be hard up the hill.
Oh, great putt.
Hard up the hill. I'll give you that just because I feel sorry for you.
Oh, I like this guy. Okay.
Here we go. Where are we going? Ooh. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that was pretty impressive.
Okay.
I'll give it the Tiger deal.
Come back. He did it. He freaking did it. That was Tiger.
You know?
Wow. Who scored more in their prime? Tiger or Arnie? And you know what I'm talking about.
Not a contest. Not a contest.
He's
really good with the wedges. Hi, I'm Gary McCord, and you're watching Breaking Par. So, there's a lot of good information in there. If you go back to page 286, there's one on haircuts for golfers. Might want to read that chapter.
Gary McCord. Okay, a little speed round.
Speed round.
Dumbest rule in golf.
The dumbest rule they fixed, spike marks. Divot probably be next.
Favorite thing about the Phoenix Open.
People,
Hardest thing to eat or drink with the mustache.
in this era, when you put this on, it smashes it in all different directions.
That's your brand.
And it comes out like this. So I got to articulate it, let's say. So that's difficult.
How do you keep a woman happy?
Money,
Who's hotter, Tiger's ex Elin or Dustin's current Paulina?
Elam,
Beer or whiskey?
a beer.
Iced tea or Arnold Palmer?
Arnold Palmer.
Last question. Who scored more in their prime, Tiger or Arnie? And you know what I'm talking about.
Not a contest. Not a contest. The king. Not. He's really good with the wedges.
And there was no social media.
Yes.
Woke up Sunday morning, not feeling
Go in.
my best.
Practice.
Go in.
No, no. that
For
was-
2 days now,
Come on,
I've
come
had
on.
no rest, but I
If you're in charge of hiring a color guy, play-by-play guy, I'm a candidate, I come in, what's like the first question?
Well, I'll ask a question. If I know what you're going to say and you say it, you're out of here. give you an example. Faraday was in the clubhouse at the International.
Yeah.
I really didn't know him. I said, have you ever done television? He goes, no. So I gave him a headset, bring him up, try him out. And I remember I told Faraday, I said, okay, listen, here's the deal. You just answer your questions. I'm going to throw you lob softballs you can't believe. They're Nerf balls. And my answer I thought was going to be there. His answer was over here. It was visual, it was fast, and it was alert. I said, this guy could be good on television. I told him they can't fire personalities, but they can fire golf announcers. So hire somebody that can come up with something, right?
Yeah.
And then make them all different. There's nobody the same, but they meet in the middle and they argue over
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's it. It's pretty simple. CBS doesn't seem to grasp that at the moment.
Patrick Reed, what are your thoughts on Reed?
Well, we have caught him a number of times. There's cameras, you know, and every time he bends over and fiddling around the rough, something's going on. He's disrespecting the game. And now it's going to become a very interesting position because we've got gambling now. This is a hell of a revenue source, okay? So where does all the revenue go on the tour when they get it? It goes back to the players and their pension plan. If I'm a player back there and I get in the locker room, I need to talk to you for a second. And when Brooks Koepka does that to you, you're going to go talk to him, okay? And it's probably not going to work out too good for you.
Right.
It's a bad situation. Come on, come on.
It's 2021, Gary. I give you a magic wand right now. You can have any job in the world.
The one I got right now, retirement. You can't beat it. Seriously. No, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. What am I going to do today? I want to go play golf. You know, I'm going to go in the superstitions and wander around and see if I can find Jacob Waltz in his gold mine. Or whatever, you know.
Good for you. All right, low score here, $100.
All right. You know I'm not paying if I lose. You know that. Light it up.
Oh, he took the instruction. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, that was close.
Oh, my
That was really close.
gosh.
This my beer here? Bang it in the hole. It's the only way to stop it.
That's dirty. That does not deserve to stop there. I'll finish.
No, hold it. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I thought that was coming. Let's at least cover your gas.
Keep your 100. Put it back in the, to get another camera. To get,
Okay.
Yeah, put in
All
another
right.
camera. You guys can have 3 or 4 drones flying around.
Yes. What's your legacy?
You know, I grew up playing this game and been involved with it for a long time in every aspect along the way. And it's still, you know, it's still fantastic. It still gives me the reason to get up in the morning now that I've kind of retired a little bit about doing things. But, you know, we've got a short little putt here that's called life. So, you know, you hit as hard as you can and see what happens. And I've always tried to surround myself with idiots because I love idiots. Just love them because they're not going that way. They're going this way, that way, around and up. So I always find them encouraging.
Oh, absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
the
you.
best.
I enjoyed it. That was fun. He beat me on the last hole. It's demeaning, socially, physically, mentally, spiritually. It's demeaning.
Coming up.
I've had 11 holes in one. One in particular was significant, was for $1 million. It hit the pin about this high up, went right down in the hole, and $1 million.
That's straight ahead on Breaking Par. Hey golf fans, a pretty cool golf memory was recently top of mind in Tucson, Arizona. Like the ancient petroglyphs commonly found around these parts, golf history down here stands the test of time. The history of golf in Tucson starts in the 1940s, but to get this party started, let's jump to 1991 and talk about a young Sun Devil by the name of Phil Mickelson. Because in Tucson, in '91, Mickelson won his first PGA Tour event. He was an amateur, and no amateur has won a PGA Tour event since.
It was the 1991 Tucson Open.
He was a junior at Arizona State. He didn't get the money.
Didn't make a lick of money.
It was $180,000. He took the Conquistador's helmet instead, which was worth $400.
From a $400 helmet to almost $100 million in career earnings, 30 years later, Phil's still tied to Tucson by his amateur accolade. And it came full circle last month when 50-year-old Mickelson returned to Tucson at the Cologuard Classic. While Phil did not become the first player in history to win their first 3 starts on the Champions Tour, his return to Tucson did inspire us to talk golf history with the locals.
The history of golf in Tucson, you start in 1945 with the Tucson Open at a municipal course called El Rio. Ben Hogan and Sam Snead and Byron Nelson all showed up.
In the 60s, the Conquistadors took over the Tucson Open. a charitable foundation challenged with raising money for youth sports by growing the tournament's notoriety. 90-year-old Fred Boyce is a founding member.
And I've been a conquistador for 57 years.
The conquistadors basically saved the Tucson Open.
Getting people to come to Tucson was not easy to do.
It might not have been easy, Fred, but you pulled it off, and the Army showed up.
Maybe the most fondest picture I've ever seen of Tucson Opens was Arnie's Army in 1967. He came to little old Tucson and played and won it when he was at the height of his power. And there was a picture in the local paper here, thousands of people walking up the fairway. There were no marshals, and that was to me the epitome of the Arnie's Army stuff, right here in Tucson.
Not only did the greats come to Tucson, but some of the greats come out of Tucson. Jim Furyk and Annika Sorenstam played at University of Arizona, and I guess there's always been some perks to going to school down here.
Watching the great players here in Tucson when I was going to school was just a dream come true. I actually caddied one year. I caddied for Babe Hiskey, and I thought, you know, maybe I can do this someday. Maybe I can get good enough to do this.
This Wildcat was good enough. Pooley played 26 years on the PGA Tour, another 12 on Champions with multiple wins on both. But speaking of Arnold Palmer ties to Tucson, Pooley and Palmer are forever connected.
I've had 11 holes in one. One in particular was significant. It was the Arnold Palmer Bay Hill Classic in 1987. It was for $1 million. It hit the pin about this high up, went right down in the hole, and $1 million. Yeah. They got $500,000, I got $500,000, and we got it over 20 years.
Speaking of 20 years, the stretch from the late 60s into the 80s were classic in Tucson. Lee Trevino won back-to-back in 69, 70, and then comes the Desert Fox.
Johnny Miller won 3 years in a row, and he shot like 61s and 62s. Dean Martin was the host, sitting on the patio with a cigarette and a drink the whole tournament.
Golf has been here since the 40s, and it's never missed a beat. And we've had a little bit of everything.
In the 80s, they had made-for-TV events at Ventana Canyon called the Merrill Lynch Shootout. 1 player out per hole, 9 players started. And 1 year, they had every big name of golf. Ben Crenshaw, Tom Watson, Payne Stewart. And I remember Tom Watson 4-putting on the 3rd hole, the famous hole at Ventana Canyon. Came here all this way to play 3 holes. Boy, you name it, they've had it here.
They sure have. And during the 90s, Tucson was known as a launching pad for up-and-coming talent. Phil actually won again, back-to-back in 95, 96.
It seemed like the center of the golf universe then.
Well, if the mid-90s felt like the center of the universe, how do you describe the mid-2000s in Tucson?
The 8 years that we hosted match play, you know, it was all about Tiger. It was when Tiger was at the height of his game.
Tiger won it in 2008. The first round that year, he played J.B. Holmes, and the entire tournament spun on Tiger making it to the weekend. And at the 14th hole, he's down 3 to J.B. Holmes. And everyone up and down Dove Mountain, you could just feel the sinking atmosphere. Tiger was going to go out in the first round. And then he goes, birdie, 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 eagle, to beat J.B. Holmes at the 18th by 1. And I still remember J.B. Holmes walking back to the press center that day. He just stopped. A PGA Tour official was walking toward him, and J.B. goes, "What just happened?" And it was just Tiger Woods.
When the PGA Tour's match play left town, it welcomed in today's Champions Tour Cologuard Classic. Judy puts that change in perspective.
I remember being interviewed when the match play did leave, and the interviewer asked me, what's it going to be like not having Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson playing in Tucson anymore? I said, well, they're going to be 50 one day, and they're going to be back. And now Phil's 50, and Tiger's not far behind.
From Tiger and Phil to Ben and Byron, all the legends have passed through Tucson. And we can only imagine what history the future has in store. Coming up.
It's pretty incredible to think that I came from just long drive and I'm able to play the best beautiful courses in Ireland and in the world. And I played the hardest hole in Ireland.
That's straight ahead on Breaking Par. Welcome to Ireland, where we recently made memories with one of the longest hitters in the game.
For me, the game of golf is, I love being challenged. So I know we expect to see wonderful things here in Ireland, but it's great that they are so, enthusiastic about what they have to offer and what they have here. And it's pretty incredible to think that I came from just long drive and I'm able to, be able to play the best beautiful courses in Ireland and in the world. And I played the hardest hole in Ireland.
Welcome to Kirkison Castle Golf Club, home of the toughest par 4 in Ireland. Long par 4, dogleg to the left. Anybody that does take it on in 2 runs the risk of wind bushes to the left and to the right, with a steep incline of a hill, both front and back. Very difficult green to hit and a very difficult par 4.
At Kirkison Castle Golf Club, and I'm about to tee it up on the hardest par 4 in Ireland. Let's see how it goes. Hole 10, yeah. So hole 10 was daunting because you're looking at like a blend of every fairway and then a flag at the top of the hill, way in the distance that you can't even see. There's a lot of trust involved. I feel like back at home I can aim at a tree or a house in the distance, and here I have to aim at the cloud on the left, and hopefully it stays there because it's moving so quickly. My second shot, I had like a side hill, uphill lie, and it was like 170 out, but it was so uphill and so windy, I wasn't sure if like a normal 7-iron was enough. So I just closed my eyes, literally, trusted a 6-iron, and I just hit it straight up, made the green. So I was just off the green. It was a relief because I left a lot on it, so it was not, I didn't leave myself like a 2-footer for par outside of 6 feet. So I was definitely glad that I could like pull off making a par on the hardest hole in Ireland. But it would have been nice to have a birdie. It was not what I expected, and it was just unbelievable and gorgeous, but it's kind of, I mean, you expect that of the world, like to be intrigued and like surprised by things too, and to be able to be, you know, a part of other cultures that play and introduced to other worlds. It's an experience of a lifetime.
Let's check out some content from our fans. It's the Social Media Spotlight brought to you by Squad Pod.
That's off the tee. That driver's meant to go off the tee. Wow. Yeah.